In this first room, we've got a number of items which Ikea still retail today, which appeared in the first Ikea store in the UK 25 years ago. A couple of objects which I think are of note and which I'm quite impassioned about, so include the Froster stool, which taps into the sort of design flair and elegance of Scandinavian design associated with Alvar Aalto, whereas a stool similar to this, originally designed by Alvar Aalto, would be an expensively produced, expensively crafted item. This particular stool, okay, it uses different production methods, different techniques for its construction, maybe cheaper materials, but it still has the elegance and essence of an aspirational piece of mid-20th century design. The Billy bookcase is a piece of design which is almost like a pastiche of what a bookcase is meant to be. Very simple, very straightforward, very belts and braces. Personally has changed my life because in my studio I have many of these and I have my entire collection of design and art books on permanent display. But as a piece of design which just functions incredibly well, is there a need for it to evolve? Is there a need for it to change? It works incredibly well already. So yeah, I'm glad it's still retailed, because eventually I will need another Billy bookshelf and I'll know I'll be able to get it. In this room set, we've got pieces of 80s furniture retailed by Ikea when Ikea first opened in the UK. But here we're surrounded by objects which Ikea don't retail anymore. So these are objects very much from their time. And when I first saw them, when I entered this space, the first thing that struck me was that actually there's still an excitement and a freshness about them. Maybe Ikea should think about sort of relaunching some of these as well, because they are actually rather desirable. We've been taken to the contemporary now, so these are items which are currently available in store and which I suspect are on display here because they represent current fashions and current trends. You can see that in the silhouette and the profile of the very square, boxy sofa in that particular type of tealy blue, which is very much on trend. The living room itself now has to be so many different things, and that has to be reflected in the practicality of the furniture and the fixtures and fittings within that space as well. Now, right at the far end of the gallery, almost tucked away, is a room which is very clearly labelled tomorrow. But my first observation walking into this is that Ikea is almost promoting the past as part of its future package. There's a very strong vintage retro styling. One of the key pieces is an armchair, which is an original design dating back to one of the original product ranges that Ikea produced in the 1950s. And it sort of demonstrates that when an object works, it doesn't become obsolete in time. It can actually be brought back and still be relevant and still be desirable. Okay, they might have changed the colour palette of the textiles, but the shape is essentially still the same and it hasn't changed at all. This room is, I think, very interesting because it's implying that we're going to have a far more eclectic attitude to the way we mix and match items in our homes in the future. And that's not the future, that's something that's happening now.